It's Jan Beta, and I'm back here with my Amiga 2000 that I did some work on in the previous video. Most of the things I did worked. I got a memory expansion, I got Kickstart 3.1.4 in there. I installed a workbench 3.1.4, and I have my BuddhaIDE card in there, which enabled me to plug in an IDE hard disk in the first place. This hard disk has like 120 gigabytes, and we had the problem that while the workbench partition, which is like a 2 gigabyte partition, works absolutely no problem, the larger data partition, which is the whole rest of the drive, fails with this error. Okay, I want to take some seconds to thank my sponsor, PCBWay, who kindly provided some funding for this video. And they offer quality PCB manufacturing, and at the moment they offer PCB assembly, meaning that you can have the components put on the PCB actually for $30 for 20 pieces. So I recommend checking them out. So whenever I boot this machine up, now it fails with this error validating empty, which is the name of the large partition, not enough memory available. And I got some really nice and helpful suggestions from you people. Now it takes a while and it should boot up normally. There we go. And it all works, so I can use Workbench and I can use the little industrial compact flash card that the Buddha installer is on, that the Buddha comes with. This is like a 2.1 gigabyte partition, which is already enough for all I could ever put on here, I guess. But I kind of want to get this partition to work. So you had some helpful suggestions, and I went on and Googled a bit actually, and one of the first things I came across was the Hyperion website, where they have like an FAQ section, and the very first thing mentioned in the FAQ is that sometimes formatting large partitions fails with a RAM error, like you got too little RAM to format this partition. So that suggested, and some of you suggested, that I go into the HD toolbox, actually, which should be somewhere on here. Maybe in utilities? No. Maybe in tools? There we go. HD toolbox. And that suggested we start this up, and yeah, it actually scans a whole lot of drives there. There we are. Disk on module. It's like a DOM, that's what it's called. So there we are. This is our drive, the address 1. We should partition the drive, probably. There we go. This is like a 110 gigabytes partition, international. Yeah. Okay. Advanced options and change. No. Oh, there we go. And there's our block size. If we click on change, we should put this into something. The tutorial suggests 4096, but that's talking about like a 4 gigabyte or an 8 gigabyte CF card. So I don't know. Let's see. Save changes to drive. Okay, this operation will destroy the data in the following partitions. STH1. Yes. Okay. A reboot is required to make your changes take effect. Select continue to reboot, select cancel. Okay, let's try. Maybe that's all we have to do. Or maybe we have to fiddle with the size a bit and set it even higher. But maybe this just works. Let's see. Okay. It doesn't seem to show up. Oh, there we are. It's uninitialized. Let's see if we can initialize it. this way. Format disk. We should go to quick format, of course. Let's try. Warning, format. You really wish to format, yes. Fingers crossed. No, not enough memory available. Okay. So the same error. This is probably just too big. Or maybe we should... Would have been too easy. Okay, let's try something else. At first, we have to click on advanced options, and we should change it. We should put this into probably the highest we can go to and see if that works. It's pretty impressive that the system can change the partition scheme without damaging the other partition, actually. Okay, exit, reboot. Okay, let's see. Okay, uninitialized, format, quick format, format, really, yes. Let's see. Oh yeah. That, okay, so I had to change. Yes, that worked, that totally worked. Winner! Okay, so that seems nice. Okay, so now I have like a 110 or 109 gigabyte partition in my Amiga, which is a bit of overkill, tiny little bit of overkill, because I'm never gonna, I'm saying that now, but I always said that whenever I had a new hard disk, I'm never going to fill that up. I said that back in the day when I had a 40 megabyte hard disk in my Amiga. Okay, let's try if it keeps working after reboot. Okay. Still going strong. So that was all that was to it. Nice. Okay. Now that's better. Okay, now there's a lot of space in this one here. Let's see if I can copy something on there. There we go. Okay, that worked beautifully. Nice. So I now have a large hard disk. I still kind of want to get the compact flash card working that I was talking about earlier in the last video, because I actually bought an adapter for a compact flash card. And I actually already put it in. It's this little adapter here. That is one of those things that fit into one of these slots, and you have like the CF card slot accessible from the backside. You need one of these adapter cables for power, because the Amiga 2000 power supply only has these large Molex connectors, and this has one of the disk type Molex connectors that you already need for the disk drives. And I think they are different as well, so you need one of these adapters that has Molex input. This also has a Molex output and has a little smaller one. This has a big IDE connector and converts it to compact flash. Compact flash basically is the same pinout, or not basically, it is the same pinout as IDE. So you just need an adapter and have, yeah, working hard disk, so to say. It's a compact flash hard disk. So in order to get the CF card reader working on the Buddha, according to the little leaflet that was put in the packaging, I have to update the firmware of the Buddha to the latest revision. And in order to do that, I had to download it, of course, from the individual computer's wiki page. And I put it on a little CF card that I now inserted into my Amiga 1200 because I have no means of reading a CF card in the Amiga 2000. I hope to achieve that soon. But at the moment I'm stuck with this machine to put the contents of the CF card on a disk and then read it with the A2000 and hopefully update the Buddha Flash from there. So yeah, it's a bit of a workaround and yeah, it's not very elegant, but it's gonna work, I guess. So let's do that. And by the way, I don't usually set this up like this. It's just a quick, I don't know, you know me, it's just the unbeaten way. Hope I don't break anything. By the way, in order to put the compact flash card into the Amiga 1200, I'm using a cheap PCMCIA adapter. Most of these actually work with the Amigas. Of course, with the Amigas that have a PCMCIA slot, which are the A1200 and the A600, I believe. Yeah, I'm using this all the time, basically. I'm using a USB compact flash reader on my modern PC and put the compact flash into this adapter, and then you need like a driver and you can read stuff from the compact flash card on the Amiga. Which is very handy, of course, for exchanging data back and forth. So if you want to know more about how I do this, let me know in the comments and I'm going to make a video about that. Okay, back on the Amiga 2000 workbench screen, and I'm inserting the disk, and I should, this is my Monkey Island save disk as well, and I should be able to copy the BuddhaIDE stuff over. Yeah, I have to show all because it doesn't have an icon. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to put it on my huge partition here. And then I have to refer to the manual. Or the wiki. The BuddhaIDE wiki. Okay. And for the 20-year anniversary edition, which is what I have, it just says I use the Buddha Flash Tool command and specify the binary that should be used. 20-year has a software triggered write protection for the flash ROM. Once this write protection has been triggered, it can only be lifted with a power cycle. To keep the current ROM from setting the write protection, press and hold the left mouse button, then switch the computer on. Hold the mouse button until you see a black-green screen flickering or the computer starts to boot. The software will ignore all saved configuration settings, including write protection, and the wait time for hard disk to spin up and boot normally. Okay, so I have to lift the write protection by holding the left mouse button on power up. Okay, so I'm holding the left mouse button, I'm powering off, waiting for a couple of seconds, powering on again, while holding the left mouse button. And it should... Oh, look at that. It's starting the installer again. Okay, interesting. Didn't want that to happen, but at least we are sure that this is now overriding the settings. So let's see if we can boot onto the hard disk. So now I should open up my shell I should be able to access huge. Oh. Misspelled Buddha there. Okay, now I should be able to use my Buddha Flash tool, which is in the B Flash tool folder. Okay, this should be Buddha Flash tool, and we should be pointing to the Buddha ROM, which is in BuddhaIDE. And then it's the Buddha ROM 52 101.bin. This should be our command. ROM loaded. Okay. Yes to start. Control C to abort. Okay. Flashing. Let's see if it works. ROM flashed. Okay, that was kind of easy. Of course, if you are doing this, you have to put the path to where your Buddha Flash tool is. And there's a couple of different Flash tools for different versions of the BuddhaIDE. So, yeah. This seems to have worked. Now we have the latest firmware on our Buddha 20-year anniversary. Okay, let's see if we get the compact flash card reader to work. So I think in order to try this, I'm just going to disconnect the hard disk and connect the compact flash thing instead. So we can most likely go through the whole installation process as if we were using a compact flash card in the first place. So of course I have to insert a compact flash card there. So this is kind of a weird angle, I apologize, but the lab is not very huge, as you know. So I have this 256 megabyte compact flash card here. It should fit in this slot here, one way or the other. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, let's see if the installer can make something out of this. Okay, and the LED is flashing and starting the installer. That's not too bad. The LED on the CF adapter just gave me like 2 little blinks there. Let's see if the installer sees the CF card. Okay. Install in English. Let's see. Drives have been added. Updated settings must be written to the drives. Right settings. Yeah, there we are. There's my Toshiba 256. Nice. Okay. So, yeah. So let's just try to install a Workbench 3.1 from the BuddhaIDE, from the little DOM, disk on module thing. See if that works for a change. Any data will be lost. Yes. Install now. You can see the little LED on the CF card adapter board flashing there. And the hard disk LED is also flashing because it's connected to the same IDE port we connected the hard disk to. So the Buddha has 2 separate connectors for, or one 3-pin connector to connect 2 separate LEDs, or like a multicolor LED or something like that, for the 2 IDE ports. Okay, it's copying Buddha drivers and documentation. Nice. Installation successful. That's what I want to hear. Okay, continue. Nice. Okay, kind of want to exit and reboot, but I want to disconnect the hard disk drive to see how silent this is. I left the power connected on the hard disk, so it spins up. But I want to see without the hard disk how silent the system can be, even though that's not what I'm aiming for in the end. Okay, so that was kind of easy, if it worked. Let's see. First, boot up. That was kind of like it is supposed to be with the Buddha. So if you... This doesn't work if you use ridiculously large hard disk. It's made for like... oh. Icon lib. Cancel. Cancel. Okay, we don't have the icon library, it seems. Uh-oh. So we can't really... We don't have the workbench library. Okay. So this didn't work all too well, I guess. So it seems this didn't work all too well again. So we probably need Workbench 3.1.4 on there as well. For now I'm just going to reconnect the hard disk and see if I can use the CF card as a secondary disk, device, whatever, because I'm planning on doing that in the future anyways. So let's see if that works. Don't forget to open this jumper, because that provides power to the disk on module, and you are probably going to break anything that's not a disk on module that you connect to the port the DOM was before. So I'm just going to connect the CF card reader thingy now. So this is now connected to the compact flash. The other cable that is connected to a drive, to our hard disk. Okay, let's just see how this goes. No idea which one it's going to boot. Probably the hard disk, because that's spinning up and it should boot up from the hard disk, I guess. Not sure. Oh, it doesn't. Okay. Let's try and make it boot from the hard disk by using the boot menu. There we are. Boot options. SD. Okay, there we go. And there's our CF card. Nice. So we could actually... Yeah, we could use the CF card at the same time, which we are going to do, I guess. Not too bad, actually. No idea why this doesn't work without the icon library. So now I kind of want to repartition this whole thing. But at first I want to copy the Buddha tools across to our workbench. Well, that's fast. Okay, that's coming from the CF card. That's not too bad. So we should just format these, I guess. Quick format. BD. Oh, okay. Let's reboot. Okay, now it should be booting from the hard disk, actually. Hopefully. Yay! Okay, so we're pretty close to where I want this to be. I guess that's it for now. I got a huge partition, which is pretty handy. Yeah. Still don't really know what to do with all that space, but I'm going to find something. So I hope this was helpful. Hope to see you again in another video. Probably there's going to be a lot more videos about the Amiga 2000 because this is going to be a huge project. So much for now. Thanks for watching. I'm Jan Beta. See you next time. Bye.